Hello stars, my name is Blue, and today we are lost in Hiveswap Friendsim. Last time we left off, we went with angsty emo teenager Daria, and today we are doing Nihkee. At least that's how I'm going to pronounce her name. Nihkee Mula. Strong girl. Oh god. We are starting off weirdly. What? What is going on? Dim lights, the din of a roaring crowd, and the smell of horribly overpriced and nauseating confections. Even across galaxies, timelines, and perhaps even universes, there is still something deeply familiar about a sporting arena. Is this wrestling? But with, like, actual killing? Smash her mother honking face in! There's also something deeply familiar about sports fans. Emmy! Blah. Such a shame having seats next to the purples. They can be so crude and boorish, don't you agree? Childhood wouldn't be nearly this loud. Usually. You find yourself here, attending a wrestling show, or a display of muscular theater, to use the troll terminology. Thanks to the benevolence of one Amasia Erden? She won the tickets in a raffle and excitedly invited you to come along. You agreed with some reservations that you quickly expressed. She was quite disappointed, but eventually agreed not to kidnap you and keep you locked up as a living paint jar, since you're buddies and all. What a sweet friend. You have to admit it, though muscular theater isn't really your thing. It's as over-the-top and ridiculous as human wrestling, which makes it perfectly entertaining enough, but also, well, a lot more violent. Participants aren't expected to die as far as you can tell, but you've already seen a few get wheeled off on futuristic hover stretchers with injuries that you're not sure they could survive. Oh gosh, she nearly got impaled there. Every match tonight is taking place within a chain link fence spiked around it, both on the outside and inside, and jet out occasionally from the places where the wires cross. The overall design, in addition to ensuring maximum bloodshed, seems to keep both the wrestlers inside and the audience out. Ironically, it might be safer this way. The current combatants are some olive blood named the Huntress and a purple blood calling herself Coalpits. Interestingly to you, there is nothing clown-like about him at all. Oh, I see him now. I didn't see the look. I didn't see her at first. It's almost conspicuous how unclowny he is, if only due to the absolute ridiculous amount of clown content you've embedded in the presence of other purples. The two fighters appear to be nearly evenly matched. The olive troll ducks and weaves amid blinding fast punches from the purples, slashing at him with grandiose arm gestures, trying to overwhelm him with a barrier of small attacks. Every one of his punches hits hard enough to knock her down, but she always springs up before he can land a second hit. She's incredibly steady on her feet, and quicker than he. In fact, you get the distinct impression that the olive blood is holding back, presumably so as to avoid enticing the crowd. Thus far, you have not seen a single match in which a lower blood opponent triumphed over a higher blood foe. I must admit, this match is a lot more tense than I was expecting, but I hope it ends soon. There's supposed to be a really famous muscular theorist performing next. Her name is Nihkee Mula, and she hasn't ever lost a fight. I heard she even beat a violet blood once. Nihkee Mula, huh? Oh, that's a name you could befriend. She must be as big a deal as Amasia makes her out to be, because she uses her real name instead of some ridiculous made-up nonsense like John Cena or Hulk Hogan. Okay. Is it just MC's thing now to be friend celebrities? Because that seems to be a trend here lately. Oh, look, he got her! You flinch. The purple blood finally managed to get his quarry in his clutches and lifts her up by the face, digging his fingers into her skull until you hear a sickening crunch and she collapses to the ground, panting heavily. She can't bring herself back up to her feet, and the announcer calls the match to an uproarious applause from the audience. Two trolls enter the cage and start dragging her out, while the winner basks in the audience's affection. But the olive blood looks like she'll probably live, but she's got a dent in her face that probably isn't coming out. Ever. Ugh. All of a sudden you think you really need to get a bathroom. You mean use the snack. You mean you'll be right back. Oh, okay, come back soon. This fight is giving me all sorts of ideas for a new painting. You quickly make a break for it, jostling your way through the stands towards the exit of the arena. But before you can make it, a voice calls out to you. Some slick-haired and slick-finned violet-blooded guy wearing a full suit with a tacky flame paint pattern on it. What was that? What just made a noise? Hey, you, alien. Me? You ask yourself, pointing to yourself nervously. No, the other alien. You swing your head around wildly, looking for the other alien. This bit plays out predictably for a while before you both get on the same page, which is that you are the alien whose attention he wants. You looking to make a little extra buck? No, not really. You never spent all the money you won with AJ. Took a while to remember what I called him. AJ! Okay, how about fame? Frankly, you're probably already too famous for your own good. Friendship? Oh shit, yeah! Sighing with relief, the troll leads you to backstage. Everyone knows what MC's after. Ow. Something tells me that MC is gonna end up in the cage. Whilst explaining that he's a promoter for this wrestling ring. One of the trolls that was supposed to perform tonight was eaten by some plant called the troll-devouring catchy grabber. Clever name. As such, famed muscular theorist Nihkee has been left with nobody to fight. You will be that nobody, or somebody. An alien will bring all sorts of media attention and controversy, which of course means big bucks for him. And friendship for you! No. You frail little thing, no. Nihkee is so friendly, he says, in a tone so insincere even your friendship-addled brain refuses to believe it. It's okay, you've met the worst. In the background, you just see him hitting on her, and she's like, I'm about to punch you in the face. He takes you in the back room, which seems to be full of performers waiting for their turn on stage. There are all sorts of trolls here, muscular, sweat-soaked, blue-blooded more often than not. One troll in particular stands out to you, from her severe expression to her softly pulsating robotic leg, to the fact that she's the only troll with a fully illustrated sprite. She's currently doing bicep curls. He just broke the fourth wall. She's currently doing bicep curls with a set of spiked weights, huffing with exertion. When the promoter approaches, she looks up with a scowl. I'm busy. He begins to explain that he has brought a new challenger for her to face, but she cuts him off and stands up. She isn't as tall as you expected, but damn if she isn't dense, packing more brawn than any other troll you've met. Do you want to know what happened, sister, to people who disrupt my preparations? Do you want to experience the bone-crushing, torso-shattering impact of these ladies right here? She flexes. God, those muscles are huge. The promoter tells her that she really doesn't need to keep up the act. There's no cameras back here. She gives him a stern look, which distinctly suggests that she never dropped the K-Fab in her life, and has no intention of starting now. Make it quick. The promoter makes it quick. So let me get this straight. You expect me, to perform with this thing? She seems less impressed, which you find reasonable. Magnificent legs aside, you don't really look like the wrestling type. Don't you dare insult me, sister. I'd rather you pull a rusty from the audience than subject me to this humiliation. Oh, but you are more than just an audience member. Frail you may be, you have a heart and soul of a wrestler. You have much longer than about 5 minutes, you thoroughly assure her, waited for an opening such as this to reveal your true passion to the world, to come alive on stage and grapple and tumble with the best of them. For eons, you thirsted for the chance to sing the song of the hymn of heft, the melody of muscle. Would that you could be blessed by the opportunity to live the life of the athlete, to perform alongside your hero, to show the world that you, too, love the muscly thing. That you might just... Okay, I get it. She glances over the promoter, then back to you. Yeah, me and Urban Trash Rat always had our library shared, thank you very much. It doesn't seem surprisingly articulate for a lesser being. But is it ready? For a butt-clenching, flesh-abrading, knuckle-blistering, muscle-ripping smackdown from Uptown. Oh my god. Yes? Yes. You nod your head confidently. Blister my knuckles, abrade my flesh, you said. Let's get this smackdown started. You've got guts at least. She turns to the promoter and gives him a curt nod. The match is on. Then she turns back to you. Now, sister, we need to discuss the show. I will make all the decisions. You will respond adequately to the storyline I present. It will be thus. The alien invader challenged me to an exhibition match to topple the Mightyarchy? They fight valiantly and show an entertaining display of strength, but in the end, as is right and proper, the noble hue of the hemospectrum prevails again. Victory shout. She starts flexing and showing off for an imaginary audience before turning back to you. Any questions, sister? Yes, actually, you do have a couple questions. First, will you die? No! Unless you're particularly disgustingly weak, in which case, maybe. God damn. Such is the risk we take, we who indulge in that most noble and dignified of sports. I was willing to give up my leg for the craft. Is your life such a heavy price to pay for a tale that will transcend us and be remembered in the annals of muscular history? Is it, sister? Well, it's rhetorical. Well, it said it's rhetorical. I clicked too fast. Right. Secondly, she says exposition match. It is a muscular theater term, referring to a match staged to entertain that does not affect one's ranking on the flexo ladder. We will not be sparring in the nude. Such glorious displays of raw, chiseled physique are reserved for intergalactic troll Olympics. No, yeah, you got that. Mostly you were wondering if it meant the loser's heads being exhibited. I can't say that word anymore. It's gone. On a pike or some other bloodthirsty nonsense. Do not degenerate this noble sport with claims of savagery. Thirdly, you're getting the sense that she's going to be playing the heel, yeah? The what? You explained that in your own cultural equivalent of muscular theater, performers usually generally fall into the category of face or heel, wherein the face is the rule-abiding and sympathetic figure that the audience is meant to root for, whereas the heel takes on a more aggressive, unlikable personality. What part of my personality is unlikable? You dare suggest, sister, that the audience won't be roaring in thunderous applause of admiration as I conquer yet another pitiful foe? You tell her, you know... What? She can be both the face and the heel. You'll just be subjugated under my heel. Yes, exactly. Hey Moolah, chat time's over. You're up. She jerks her head back at you silently marches out of the room. You begin to follow, and the promoter directs you to your entrance on the other side of the arena. You wait nervously for your cue to enter. Well, folks, we've had some technical difficulties, but here comes the match you've all been waiting for. Wearing the belt of champions and the leg of her own design, she's ready to get the competition. A paragon of power, a lady of lightwork, a true blood rough annihilator in the making. Clap those hands and activate your screech crevices. It's Nihkee Moolah! Nihkee approaches the stage with to thunderous applause, raising her hands and soaking in all the praise. Jesus fuck, what? She flexes and poses. The audience throws glasses of milk at her. What? With shadow uselessly around her steady frame, this appears to be a common ritual for her. What the fuck? Just when I thought we've already seen the most ridiculous things. She steps through one of the cage doors and it slams shut behind her, locking tight. With her arms crossed and her teeth firmly gritted, she awaits you. The announcer begins a new intro speech. You step forward. And in the other corner, frail in structure, weak in knees, wearing a perpetual look of befuddlement, we have some messed up low-blood alien. Nice. How has this absurd mockery of life not been cold yet? Perhaps only so fate could lend them to their thrashing at the bloodthirsty hands and barbed foot of the grand Nihkee. A decent proportion of the crowd boos at you during your approach, in which you find unsurprising. You have to dodge a hail of old boots and rotten fruit. Someone throws an entire piano at you. What the fuck? Relatively unfazed, you enter the ring and hear the door close behind you. So, you come here, alien, to prove your kind superior to the unbreakable, unstoppable troll species? Yeah, you shout. Your kind is so superior to the trolls. And you, their emissary. Does this creature look superior to you, my theater enthusiast? She turns to the audience, throwing a hand out and gesture to you. They boo. So this, sorry specimen, the best... Yes, I get it, Steam. Stop it. So this, sorry specimen, the best its planets can offer, more boos. You countered that you came more than prepared to tackle the, Mightyarchy? Yeah, that. So, you claim to be prepared, but are you prepared to face these 24-inch slither noodles? What? These snakes? 24-inch snakes? Yes, please. I would love a snake, no matter its size. She flexes so hard the announcer's sleeves explode. The fuck? So be it. I'll crush you in a single blow. You're expecting the referee to start the match, but then it occurs to you that there is no referee. Somewhere in the distance a bullhorn sounds, which is apparently the signal to begin. Without taking her eyes off you, Nihkee grabs the cage wall behind her and hoists herself up effortlessly, scaling it in reverse until she reaches the top. The announcer is screaming something about this move being called the Spiky Nihkee. Once she finishes her ascension, Nihkee deftly leaps from the edge of the cage and spins down towards you. Her body twists and writhes in multiple blinding fast flips before her robotic leg comes slashing at you. You spend quite a time admiring her dazzling form before it occurs to you that you should probably move. You duck and roll forward, feeling the point of her leg just barely graze your scalp. The announcer shouts, "First blood!" as you feel a light trickle down the back of your neck. Some members of the crowd are booing, presumably because they just noticed the color of your blood. Between the neon lighting in the distance, they probably think it's rust-colored and not mutant red. So at least you have that going for you. What you don't have going for you this time, it's time to think about your next move, because Nihkee pivots on her heel and charges at you. This time, she's going for a more theatric throw. Two powerful hands grab you and lift you over her shoulders, where you nearly gore yourself on one of her horns in your struggle to escape. You plant two hands on her back and push hard. You're delighted to find her grip loosens and you go tumbling over her back, landing with a clumsy stagger on your feet. You're not sure if she let you get away with that one for sake of the show, or if you just slipped out of her sweat-soaked palms, but you're going to terribly assume the former. She turns to face you, grunting and baring her fangs. She charges, bearing back a fist and then sending it barreling towards your fragile human nose. You leap out of the way, only narrowing it to dodge it. All you've done is avoid me, coward. Where's your killer instinct? Do I scare you? Are you loath to face my true blue muscle-bound beauty? You take this as your cue to attack, and instead you run full tilt away from her. It isn't fear carrying you, you swear. God, this is ridiculous. Fool! There's no running or hiding from Nihkee Moolah. Stand and fight. She sprints towards you as you flee. The crowd is on tenterhooks? What? Nobody knows what you're doing, least of all you. But you think you could pull something cool out of this. You leap at the cage ball, barely avoiding the spikes that line it, and using the slight amount of give and the chain link's wires, goddamn, you springboard you off. With an exuberant grin, you go flying towards her, arms held out for a classic clothesline maneuver. Then you collide with her own arm and whop. When you wake up, you're lying on what appears to be an exercise mat. You can feel a telltale throbbing sensation in your feet that indicates a black eye. The rest of you, thankfully, doesn't feel particularly hurt. Nearby, you can hear the huff and puff of exertion. You glance over to spot Nihkee training on one of those leg press machines you always saw in gyms, but never had the courage to attempt to use. She's wearing an exercise outfit which, despite its vastly different purpose, looks almost exactly like the outfit she wore in the ring. It has all the functions a fitness aficionado would want. It's loose, it's breathable, and the artists don't have to draw a second set of sprite for it. As soon as she notices you awake, she turns to speak to you. She doesn't even stop her workout. You're finally awake, sister. Welcome to my hive. I've spent so much precious, valuable time, waiting for you to open your eyes. Oh god, how long have you been out? About 40 minutes. It's not that bad, is it? Perhaps. But only when compared to your abysmal performance in the ring. To be knocked out cold by your own attack. Wretched. I am an impossible foe to conquer, and yet even a rusty has towed me longer than in the realm of mortal combat. Video games. One of my first video games, actually. You are weak, sister. Offensively so. She slams her foot with such velocity, the weight of the leg press goes flying off and leaves a dent in the floor. Grunting, she stands, takes a long swig from a bottle, then approaches you with fire in her eyes. What do you have to say for yourself? You scuttle backwards, proffering only a sheepish smile. You're, sorry, you guess? I didn't bring you here for apologies. I brought you here to see your heart ignite with the will to improve. You are not a worthless being. You have a flair for theatrics, an appreciation for sport, and a shining soul filled with the most interactable determination. You could be so much more than you are, sister. I could make you so much more. Is this, the training scene from Mulan? Cast your gaze around you and behold, or even Hercules. The Bronzeum. Oh, my chair's squeaking. You obediently cast said gaze around. This room is massive and littered with training equipment as far as the eye can see. Much of it resembles exercise machines like the ones you had in gyms back on Earth, but there are plenty more that look far more alien and deadly. A treadmill which appears to throw the runner into a vat of acid if they fall off. A series of swinging axes that look at home in a dungeon. 3 different varieties of Iron Maidens. Each more horrific than the last. This is presumably Nikki's personal workout studio, but you could easily mistake it for a torture chamber. You wonder if our data has ever considered a job as a personal trainer. Maybe you should bring it up with her. There are some who may be worthy of my expertise. It is here I can forge them, just as I forge myself, into beings of adamant strength. The journey will be harsh. If you are made of weaker stuff than I believe, you will perish in agony. But if your core is strong and your will of iron, yours will be an unquenchable might. She extends your hand to you, her jaw set. Join me, sister, and together we shall ascend to Timson's heights of muscular perfection. There's a look in your eye you have never seen before, one of hope, of faith. Her arm vibrates, muscles shaking, quaking. Do you take it? What page am I on to? Take her hand. And die. You take her hand, staring into those hopeful eyes. Oh, to see that deep sapphire blue filled with the glow of friendship. She squeezes your hand so tightly you feel your fingers fracture. Excellent. I knew you had the spark. Now, to make a flame, to grind and crush, and pummel the flint until it bursts into the roaring blaze of strength. Today, I shall begin testing your limits. Come. She leads you to a treadmill and the deep, bubbling pit of acid directly behind it. You nervously step on. We're going to measure your speed and stamina. Run until you can run no longer. She starts up the machine, giving you a nice, breezy jogging pace at first. And then the treads quickly begin to whirl away at a blinding fast rate. You're sprinting as hard as you can to keep up, holding desperately onto the arms of the treadmill. Come on, sister, grit your teeth. Put some trust sinew into it. Sinew into it. If you're not sweating by the time you're done, you aren't trying hard enough. Sweat beads on your forehead as you push your legs to the limit, running like you're being chased by an angry drone. Your feet must be blurring like Sonic and a fucking hedgehog by now. The treads are even moving even faster, and you can almost feel yourself slipping. Got to hold. You lose your grip and go flying backwards, narrowly grasping the edge of the pit and dangling onto it. Your toes singed by the acid. Ouch! You hoist yourself over the edge and roll the side hissing. Nihkee stands over you, clucking her tongue. Top speed, 12 miles per hour. That's good, right? For a bronze blood. Next test. Oh, we got better than a rust blood. That's something, considering that we're literally the lowest on the Etch ladder. Hemospectrum, not Etch ladder. Etch ladder is something else. Goddamn brain. She takes you from machine to machine in quick succession, each time commenting on your skill level. Your biceps are as stable as Rusty's. Your lungs are gold at best. Your legs are unsuspected cerulean. All while taunting you, encouraging you to push yourself further. The desiccated corpse of my ancestor could do better than this. You struggle to deadlift a giant barbell made of dead monster skulls. Are you going to inject dismay fluid all night long, or are you going to woman up? Dismay fluid? What? You go toe-to-toe with the punching bag that shoots sonic blasts at you whenever you hit it. Shape up or get ejected into the nearest solar execution barge. You sob as she forces you to do 30 minutes of freeform JAZZERCISE. Your jazz hands are terrible. JAZZERCISE. Oh no! By the time an hour is up, you're panting and huffing, desperate for a break. Nihkee finally relents. Your reward for staying alive thus far. Stay hydrated, sister. She tosses you one of those protein shaker bottles that the gym buffs are always chugging from. You regard the mixture with curiosity for a moment before throwing caution to the wind and gulping some down. When has embedding alien substance ever hurt you before? But when the flavor hits your taste buds, you almost retch. Is this Gatorade mixed with milk? Nutritious and delicious! Nihkee, no! Nihkee, no! You keep checking it. You need liquids, foul though they be. Alright, lactose breakover. Let's continue. I don't think you're supposed to drink milk when you're working out this hard. I'm pretty sure that just makes you sick. She leads you over to one of those Iron Maidens. This one doesn't actually look spiked. It just has a blunt, bumpy surface on the inside. Get in. What? Get in, sister. Oh boy. You reluctantly step inside the Iron Maiden and its doors clamp shut around you. This thing is far, far too tight for you, and the bumps are pressing into you from all sides, teething and threatening to squeeze you away into nothing. You groan and push back against the walls, desperately trying to keep them from crushing you into a little human waffle. Just when you think your strength is about to give out, the maiden opens. Pressure resistance, about olive level. The results are surprisingly adequate. Your potential continues to shine. Good work. How are we not dead? This halfway point seems to mark a change in her attitude as you continue to, just barely, persevere through everything she throws at you. Like a shake wake so powerful that it leaves you shuddering intermediately throughout the next few exercises. Keep it steady, sister. Don't lose heart on me now. The rowing machine that douses you with boiling water if you can't keep up pace. Go, go, go! We'll make a future medalist out of you yet. Literally being chased around a field outside by a giant toothy monster. Don't you dare allow this thing the satisfaction of feasting on your bones. After hours of this grueling work, you finally collapse. You think some of your bones are broken, your heartbeat is coming in quick and irregular pulses, and you can barely breathe. Your vision blurs and shifts at the edges. God, you're amazed you haven't passed out yet. Get up! You glance weakly at Nihkee, expecting her to be looking down at you with disdain, but instead you see her crouching, offering you her hand, wearing a smile. You take her hand and she pulls you up to your feet. Oh my gosh, she looks so proud! The look on her face now resembles pride, and when she claps a palm down on your shoulder, it only kind of hurts. You've done well, sister. I threw everything I had at you, and you soldier on with head held high, even as your body broke beneath the weight. I have never seen such commitment. Such strength of heart and soul. Such dedication to the craft. Such appreciation for the most righteous of pursuits. You are no mere workout partner. You are a workout friend. A light blossoms inside you like the neighing of a horse. This feeling of power, of strength, of the bond between warriors. This is the real and true. And this light will never, ever leave you. As you bask here in the satisfaction and sweaty glow of a good workout, you realize that planets, universes, dimensions, realities, powers, principalities, and cosmos come and go, but being swole as fuck is forever. Okay. Oh, she's letting us hold her belt. That's so cute. I'm gonna try to make the hair as unruly as possible. We'll see where that goes. I was expecting MC to die, but I guess 17 chapters of making friends in an uncaring world does strengthen you up a little bit. Who does Nihkee remind me of? I would say Dance from Fallout 4, but not really. A little bit, maybe, with the whole outstanding thing going on. That was entertaining. I actually have a little bit of tears in my eyes because of how hard I laughed. But, let me know what you think about Nihkee. That's it for today, stars. If you liked the video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already to join our wonderful galaxy. Comment down below and I'll get back to you in some way or another. And I will see you for our next adventure. Remember, we're all made of the same cosmic dust, so be nice. Kate, love you. Bye!